Hello, hello. Welcome to Office Hours. Woohoo! Hey everyone, welcome to Office Hours. My name is Andrea, developer advocate on the Flow team. We have a lot of team members here, which I will introduce in just a second. If this is your first time joining Office Hours, or if you're watching it randomly on YouTube, years from now, what it is, it's just our weekly touch point with the community where we discuss all things Flow. We have a really cool agenda this week, and I think we should jump right into it. One thing I'll say before we jump to the introduction is if you have questions, we have a Slido link, which is bit.ly/OH-MAR31, what you see on the screen. It'll also be posted in the Office Hours text chat. And there you can ask all your questions, and it's a live Q&A type of thing where we can monitor what questions come in, everyone can see them, upvote them, and it makes it a little bit more interactive. Of course, you're also free to unmute anytime and speak up, so don't feel like you need to stay muted. This is an interactive session. Everyone is welcome to speak, and everyone is welcome to participate. Cool. So let's meet the team for those of you who have not met the team yet. Awesome. So we have our, they all have badges. Nice. We have our dev advocados, Kim, Bruno, and myself. We have our community managers, Carol and Trey, our Cadence experts, Josh and Bastian, our FCL and SDK engineers, Greg, Chase, Max, Gregor, and Yanez, and James in our hearts. Not because anything happened to him. He's just exploring some personal adventures, don't worry, and he's still lurking around. And we have our DevX engineers, Mac and Pete, and Shrindroy is the product manager behind all of the DevX tooling. Morton recently joined as VP for Dev Experience. We also have Alex in Incognito. We should probably add a little profile for him so he goes out of incognito mode. Hey, Alex. We have Albert from Solutions Engineering and David from the product marketing side. Again, as I usually say, we will be sharing this big Jamboard. So if you missed any names or you want to know who to reach out to on Discord, you can always consult this graph. Cool. All right. So today we have a cool agenda. We'll start off by talking about variable transaction fees. Yartek, do you want to say anything? No? Okay. Cool. So today we'll be talking about variable transaction fees, not peas, variable transaction fees, and Paul will walk us through it. Then we'll have an AMA with Mantle. Gregor will walk us through his proposal for contract imports, and then we'll have a Fantastec swap demo as well. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Paul, do you want to take it away?
Sure. I have a question from you, though. Do you want me to share my screen to show this post, or should we just post it, or how do you want me to handle?
I think it's, if you're only going to show this post that's already on screen.
We've got one more that's on the forums, but this is fine. So we talked about this last week, and the week before, and the week before. So we're trying to make sure everybody understands what's happening here. The news for this week is that we have a public post on the forum right now that I believe at some point this morning will go out on all the other social channels, which describes how voting will work. And it also describes the kind of things that are going into the first proposal. So this is something that I've hinted at, but we haven't kind of revealed all the pieces of how that proposal will work. So on the forums, there's a new post under announcements called "Let's Make Decisions Together," and I'll actually post that link in the Discord channel here if I can get back to it. Well, I'll post it after I'm done. there's kind of two main components here. The first is that we're going to be using this tool called Cast, which has been built by the Dapper Collectives team. For those of you that aren't aware, Dapper Collectives is the Brud team, the people behind Little Michaela. So they've been working on a bunch of DAO tooling, things like treasury management and ways to vote on proposals. So we're going to be using their voting tool in kind of a beta form in order to conduct this first vote. A general way that it will work is that, there we go, thanks. The general way that it'll work is it's off-chain voting, similar to Snapshot. The voting tool is actually based upon the Snapshot voting tool from the Ethereum community, modified to work with Flow. It is based around the idea that for these first votes, at least, we're trying to put something out into the community that can make some progress. None of this is 100% decided upon or fixed, and we're really looking for everybody's feedback on how this works and if there's any improvements that can be made to the process and everything. And then what I'd like to do over the course of the next couple of months is engage everybody around kind of building this a more final version of this process together. But we just needed to get something out in order to really start the discussion. And the Cast tool, again, is snapshot voting. Everybody will be able to participate in the vote who has either staked or delegated their Flow tokens as of the epoch before the vote begins. So the plan is to have our first governance vote be on the topic of variable transaction fees on April 8th. And that vote will go for either 1 or 2 weeks. Currently, I'm leaning toward 2 weeks to give everybody a little more time to understand this. But I did want to bring that up on the call today and just make sure that we, talk to everybody here and wanted to see if 2 weeks feels all right. So a 2-week voting period. And if that's the case, then everybody will need to have staked or delegated their tokens by basically midnight, April 5th, GMT. So or 1 a.m. Central European time on the 5th. So basically people need to stake or delegate, and then they can go and vote. There's no cost to voting. It's all off chain. And then votes are aggregated at the end of the period, and the largest vote wins. So kind of a basic voting system. And then for this first proposal, it'll be around variable transaction fees. Last week, I talked about Flip 660, which talks about how fees are going to be, or our current proposal for how fees should be charged. This is the breakdown between execution fees and inclusion fees. In Flip 753, which is currently available on GitHub, and will be merged later today as a proposal, breaks down exactly how these fees are charged. There's a lot of information there, and we'll actually be doing a Q&A about that tomorrow, I believe, Carol.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. We're doing Q&A on that tomorrow, so I'm not going to go into the details of that. The basics are that more expensive operations like creating an account, reading or writing large amounts of bytes get charged more in a transaction than like a function call or a loop or a basic operation. The end result of this is that certain types of transactions cost more, many transactions cost less, and there's actually a little more room for developers to do what they need to do. So we'll talk about the specifics of that tomorrow, but I just wanted to get this out to everybody. I'd really love feedback on this. If we could put that feedback in the forum, and we'll make sure to be on top of that. And then if anybody hears kind of community sentiment or from a specific developer that there's confusion or anything that needs to be answered, I'd appreciate it if you flag that to me on Discord or to Carol or to one of the community managers, and we'll make sure to have the right conversations or get the documentation out that's needed in order to explain the intention. Again, this is up. Vote will start April 8th. It'll go through the 15th or the 22nd. I'm shilling for the 22nd myself. And this will be our first chance to kind of get community sentiment on a big change. So looking forward to hearing everybody's opinions on this.
Yeah, the event's already up. So if you look up top on the Discord, it's the same time tomorrow. So please join, please RSVP so you remember to come join us tomorrow to have a chat.
Woo! Woohoo! I'm also shilling for the 22nd because it's my birthday. Awesome. So we have a question on Slido already. For transaction fee voting, will ledgers work?
Yes, I believe. Let me double check on that.
Cool.
I haven't tried it with Ledger personally, but I'll check with the team and make sure that works.
And someone followed up, will Blockto work for transaction fee voting?
Blockto definitely works. That's how I've tested so far.
Awesome. Cool. We have a lot of DeFi questions, which we might get to after, Mantle and the rest of the agenda. Anyone have any questions for Paul or comments?
Also save it for tomorrow.
Or save it for tomorrow. Yeah, sure. All right. Then let's move to the next location. Nice. So now we have a guest AMA, Mantle Finance. Take it away. Hey.
Let me share my screen. I have a spatial demo today. Woohoo.
I'm very excited for the demo.
I'm the huge fans of Baller and some NFT in Flow. So I want to make our team want to build more, did more utility for the NFT. So we build this skin. You can play your NFT in here.
That's awesome.
Pretty hard, I must to say. Oh, I'm the left side 2-player.
Nice.
It even has the zoom in kind of point effect. That's awesome.
Actually, this you only need to use the one left click, and you can control all the spatial angle, or want to do spatial.
Move both players at once.
Yeah, and by the way, we already find some sponsor for this game, so you may see Blockto logo in the background and Holden's logo in some, because we maybe have a beach in the background, so you play this tennis ball in the beach, and the umbrella, the logo maybe the Holden or the other NFTs.
I think Flow needs to sponsor this. We need to figure out how to set up like a really hefty reward.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Welcome. We need to gather all the NFT together, and then we can be stronger.
All right, I'll work on it. I'll work on getting something cool so that other people join and can win.
Okay, so the game, that's it.
Sweet. Then maybe we can just go into, why don't you explain who you are and what Mantle Finance is?
Oh, yes. Hello, everyone. CC, we're from Taiwan. And then when we joined the blockchain, before we make some tiny game, casual game, so we bump into the blockchain. We also want to bring the funny to all people here. So we saw there's lack of the utility for the NFT holder. So let's build some interesting for them. But our major goal still want to bring more liquidity for the NFT holder. So I would say the Mantle is a community for who want to use the NFT directive. So if you need the liquidity urgently and don't want to sell your NFT, you can find a lender in our community really easy. Also, if you have a lot of flow or stable coin in your hand and you want to find a place with better interest than staking, Mantle is your choice.
Cool. How does it work?
Actually, we have two kind of function. So one is P2P lending. So the other one is lending pool. So P2P lending is you can just lock up your NFT in our smart contract. So it's more like a pump shop. So lender can provide you the money, and if you don't, if the borrower not repay in the end, the lender will get the NFT directly. So usually we talking the NFT lending is not really the renting service for the NFT. Usually it's a more directive for the NFT holder, more function for them can you don't need to sell, but you still can get any liquidity. So right now we also have a very cool function. We call it a lending pool. So you can directly put your NFT to the smart contract and then get the liquidity out of the pool. So we have Oracle, we have original pool in there, and then it's running very smooth like a compound protocol. So everybody can directly get the liquidity out, also repay immediately.
Cool. We already have some questions on Slido, so maybe we can talk about these to kind of continue the conversation. You kind of explained what Mantle is, so we can kind of skip the first one. We have one from Phil, which I think can kind of also answer the first one, which is, how is the value of the NFT calculated? And yeah, is the loan for 100% of the value of the NFT? Or can you walk us through usually how NFT lending works from start to finish from a lender and borrower perspective, maybe?
Sure. Usually, lender borrower put their NFT as collateral and log in a smart contract, and then they will set their wish price, wish loan to value. So usually it's not 100% for the value for NFT. If we put 100% there, there's more risk for the lenders. So usually we put less than 50, maybe 30, 20%, and then the lender can choose to offer the different prices to the different loan value, duration, loan value, different interests for the a borrower. So borrower can decide, oh, you want to longer duration, maybe higher interest, or shorter duration, so you can get more, maybe lower interest for them. So yeah. So we usually calculate the flow price not based on the for P2P lending, we not based on the Oracle. Yeah.
I see. And for the NFT price, this is also set by Mantle, or is it set by the lender?
Set by the lender. Different lender will provide different deal for the borrower.
Got it. Cool. And is there a floor price? I don't know if this is a flow question, but it seems also relevant to Mantle. Is there a concept of like a floor price, or?
I think it's the same question. Same with last question for this.
Okay. This is actually an interesting question for you, since you're building a DeFi project on Flow. The question is, the crypto space is very NFT heavy. How do you think DeFi can evolve on Flow?
Yeah, in my observation, I would say the people usually stay in the echo chamber with their NFT project, who like this project because of a community painting style, and then people will stay. They know they love it, so they will ignore the other project. But DeFi user is not like this. DeFi user usually trades the higher interest, higher yield. So for flow, we need new user. So I would say the operation method for the NFT project are relatively immature in the blockchain industry. But there are many tools for token and for DeFi instead. So I would say we need to focus or building more on the DeFi project because it's more easy for people use the DeFi project because they don't need to go immerse in the NFT community, spend a lot of time there. You know, people usually do a lot of time in their NFT project. They want to enjoy the community, but DeFi not. DeFi, people will use the DeFi because the high TVL, because the high yield. So I would say we should focus on more DeFi instead of flow, and also. People usually attract by the high, if we have high yield, high TVL, major platform like Chainlink, Terra, even centralized exchange, Binance or something will come to here and want to build on flow ecosystem definitely.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've never looked at it like that, but it's true that like DeFi users have less, let's say, chain loyalty, right? They just care about returns. So DeFi projects are less about a specific chain. It's more about what does it do and what does it offer. So that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, we don't need the huge interest yield like 100% APY, or maybe we can 15%, even 10 is better. I think attract a lot of new users here.
While still on the topic of Mantle, what makes Mantle different compared to Floaty?
Oh, I think Floaty is more focused on NFT Top Shot, but we are more focused on the other NFT. Also want to solve the flow token liquidity problem. Yeah, so you can see our product. You go there, we have a lending pool there. So you can, if you have, you need money, but you don't want to sell your flow like me. I don't want to sell my flow, so you can directly attract the liquidity from our protocol.
And how does the liquidity work? I know you kind of mentioned it at the beginning, but could you go into a little bit more detail on like the lending pool and how you're offering liquidity for Flow?
Sure. May I share my screen? I think one peek you guys can really understand what is the lending pool works. It's really
sure.
Function. Okay, it's now. Yeah, so you can see the instant lending. We have it's two pools right now, Flow and USDC. So we still not to put the NFT as collateral, but we will add this feature very soon. So right now you can deposit let me connect my wallet. You can deposit your Flow token here, and then you will get the borrowing energy, borrowing power, so you can get your USDC out of our protocol. So in the future, if you lock your NFT in, you also get the borrowing power against your NFT value. So instant lending protocol is more efficiency for the P2P lending, because for P2P lending, you need to find appreciate your NFT token, and then they will provide the price for you. But maybe you don't agree you don't want this interest. So I think for the instant lending pool is more easy for the who need liquidity.
And one question we also have is like, what fees do you charge, or how does Mantle make revenue from these various products? Is it through commission or
commission? So every transaction, not transaction, every loan case, we will charge some percent from the interest.
I have a question. I think we answered all the questions that we have on Slido, and anyone who still has questions, please feel free to either add them on Slido or just unmute. I have a question. I see that you have both Ethereum and Flow, right?
Yes.
What's been your experience building on both?
I will say the Cadence is the language the easiest one I learned from all the smart contract. I can code in EOS blockchain, some part of Solana, blah blah blah, Solidity for sure. I would say Cadence is really easy, so I chose to stay in Flow because the engineer on board in the Flow is really easy for them. Yeah. And for Ethereum, I say, Ethereum I think is more easy also, but the protocol for the Solidity may be too old and need to update. Yeah.
Well, we have a testimonial right there. So big props to all the people behind Cadence and making it easy to learn and easy to build with. This is not the first time we've heard this from the community, so it's great to hear that this was also your experience.
The problem is lack of the other product, the sample, because in the Solidity you can learn a lot from the other project, but for Flow you need to build yourself.
Yeah, we're definitely in a pioneering era in Flow, and we definitely know that there needs to be more sample code. So right now we're working on kind of revamping our whole doc site, also to make it easier to surface all the community contributions that are made, right? Because a lot of people are making some cool samples. It's just hard to find them, and so yeah, we have a couple ideas on how to solve this, or at least not how to solve this, but how to improve the visibility of what the community is creating. But definitely we need more samples, we need more examples, we need more tutorials. And it would actually be great if from the learnings of making Mantle, you could maybe contribute back to the community with, blog posts or examples on what you learned, maybe some cool things that you found along the way that other people may find useful.
True. Yeah, we're still building the protocol with open source. We also want to building a small project for Cadence. Yeah, still
Nice.
open source. Yeah.
And also that game.
Also the game. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. By the way, we will go to New York, NFT New York. So I don't know the Flow will join this time or not. So.
Absolutely. Maybe we can create a little gaming session in real life NFT gaming session using that game, and maybe win real prizes.
That would be more funny.
I want to see more projects, more characters. I want to see some goats versus some ballers versus some flunks. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's like the ceilings really high on how cool that could be.
I'm going to need to release my own just so that I can use my own NFT in the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe we can work with Rarible. If you mint your NFT there, you get to play a tennis game. Mantle.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Awesome. Let me just double check Slido again. Phil has another question. What has your approach to auditing Mantle smart contracts been so far?
Right now, we have get several names from the flow team who can help us to audit the Cadence, but we still doubt their ability to do this because nobody can claim they are professional Cadence coder. So that's for now. Auditing by ourselves, also auditing by the other third party. But I would say in the Cadence, in some way, you don't need auditing because you can separate the risk with the resource. So that's why Cadence with a natural embed resource the function. Yeah.
I see. We have a new question in as well, which is the liquidity of NFT is very poor. If there is a large scale liquidation, how can the protocol protect the lender's supply tokens?
Yeah. Oh, that's for right now because the protocol is just beginning. So more and more when the time go through, so people will become. We invite the community become the liquidator. So not only us, we can do the liquidation. The other people can do. We also finding who want to join our protocol and asking to help the protocol to put their flow token in. So yeah, I'm not worried about the liquidation problem.
And maybe more broadly is what type of guardrails are you putting in place to prevent, let's say, inconvenient events from happening?
Sorry, I don't get the.
Well, I think what the question was trying to get at was, if there was a shock event, right? Like someone trying to liquidate everything. Are there any, maybe in the smart contracts themselves, are there any guardrails or any rules that make it harder for the system to have shocks that it can't recover from?
For right now, we are not go through that mature for the protocol. But in the future, we can build something prevent this. Yeah, like Aave, they staking the Aave token. So when they have something price pumping or dumping, so they can use the Aave token to compensate the victim. Yeah, we can learn that.
Cool. Are there any plans to join other chains other than Flow?
I would say no, because the problem is community. So when we have stronger community, we can go other place definitely. But right now, stronger community first. So we build a community. Yeah.
That's very good Flow philosophy right there. Nice to hear. Community first. Yeah. Awesome. And a question that hopefully you will like a lot is, are you guys hiring?
Yeah. We'll say yes. We can talk. Because cool. We from Asian, I must say we really need marketing help to us and can broadcasting our product to the who is the. I know a lot of people they selling Flow because they need the liquidity, they need the money immediately. But I would say nobody. If you are OG in the trade crypto, they are not selling the token. They usually put their token in the lending pool, so they can get once the price still pump, they still can enjoy to get the interest from their token.
Cool. Yeah. So if anyone's interested in helping out Mantle, definitely reach out to Xisi. And do you have like a link on your website that people can check out if they want to reach out, like a contact page, or on Discord directly?
Yeah, I will post in the office hours the text.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Last question. I think we answered most of them. FUSD integration. Are there plans to add FUSD integration?
Nope, because we talked to Flow core team. They will say they will pull out slowly with FUSD, and use the USDC. So we directly use the USDC, and then we believe we all the Flow ecosystem, not only for the core team, we need to we need to negotiate with Binance to import the USDC withdraw with Flow blockchain as an option. So yeah, use the USDC as a more smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe some more context for people who weren't at one of our previous office hours where the FUSD question came up. Our guidelines is now that USDC is available, it is the much more, has a much bigger liquidity. It's battle tested across various chains. So FUSD was made to have a stable coin on Flow, before USDC was available, but now that it is available, it's definitely recommended to use USDC over FUSD, especially for DeFi applications.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, yeah. Cool. All right. Let me just switch over streams because I was still watching your one. Okay. And just to close off on the last question, what does the liquidator get NFT?
Oh, liquidator get NFT. Yes, they can get 20% off with the NFT. So if you appreciate this NFT and you believe the the market will buy the NFT, so you will willing to become this liquidator. So yes, they get the NFT back.
Cool. Awesome. There's a question for Paul here. Is there any technical doc about how to integrate variable flow gas fee? I'm building a Flow wallet.
Yeah, I will go. Yeah, I just saw the article for the section fee, storage fee or transaction fee. Yeah, I will try to learn that and improve in our protocol.
I can speak to this. So we have a forum post that was posted in the governance forum last week. It's linked at the bottom of the one that was linked today, and it should describe what you need to know for that. The TLDR on it is that it still, from a transaction perspective, just looks like the gas limit, and then there's a fixed cost currently. So all you really need to do is be able to obey that, is be able to pass in that gas limit and then to kind of multiply by the fixed cost right now. It's a fixed cost per gas. So it's really no different. There's one caveat, which is that we've modified the event, which happens at the end of a transaction in order to say that fees have been extracted from the transaction. So there's a new event which includes more information. It's flow fees deducted has been added. So if your wallet or application uses that in any way, you will need to switch to a different event than the tokens deposited event that you would have been using right now. But hopefully all the information is in that doc. If there's more questions, reach out to me on Discord PGPG, and I will make sure to add any FAQ entries or any other docs that we need there.
Cool.
Awesome. We already answered Mantle integrating other blockchains, but wait, this is slightly different. Will Mantle integrate Flow to other blockchains? Do you want to speak to that quickly? We do have to move to the next one, but if you have a quick answer for this, CC, maybe it's worth answering.
Yeah, I would say if the Avalanche people appreciate flow, we will definitely do this. But for the least, we need to have more how can I say, reputation or more famous in the Avalanche or the other blockchain first. But we are not so matured for that, so not yet. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer all these questions. Really looking forward to using Mantle. Hopefully everyone else is as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Shishi.
Yeah,
Cool.
so glad to be here.
Glad to have you, and hopefully meet up in NFT NYC.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Cool. Let's move on to the next agenda item. Gregor, the legend. Do you want to talk about your new flip?
Yeah, hi, good morning. How is everyone doing? Yeah, I want to give you a quick overview of the flip I made and more importantly, invite you to comment and provide any feedback. So I'll just share my screen, which should be visible now. Does anyone see it?
It's still loading.
Yep, still loading.
Let me try again.
Yep, it's working
Visible now? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, the flip is addressing the contract import syntax used all over in the community, and the objective is to uniform that syntax so we don't have to switch between different styles and all the pain associated with that. We've been at fault here as well, by having some of the projects use the one syntax and others the other. So basically there are two kind of like established syntaxes. One is to import with this placeholder. So one example would be like import through from 0x_foo. That is established in, for example, FCL, core contracts, flow testing library. And this is the projects that we are maintaining as well. So, and then the other syntax is the importing, the referencing, the relative path. So, for example, import foo from, and then the file name. And that is used by VS Code extension currently in the CLI. So my proposal here is to unify that and have one import syntax that can also then potentially support other features. So the and I explain a bit like what are pros and cons of each of those, and what is the current state. So I really invite you to like read about it if you have the time. I don't want to read all of that to you now. So my kind of proposal is currently to have like this arbitrary like namespace location, and that potentially can also be more defined in the future. I didn't want to define it too much because we still don't know like how, like potentially we're gonna have maybe like some kind of name service in the future, or we're gonna have some kind of dependency managers. So basically just like suggestion would be to have like potentially for non-fungible tokens on flow/non-fungible token. And more importantly, so the current state is that like projects that develop smart contracts, they usually publish those in a separate repo from the code. In that repo, whether they use the placeholder import syntax, it's really hard to know what it references, right? So if you see a contract importing like foo from 0x_foo, what is actually that? Like if that's not fungible token, it's really hard to know what it should mean. So the idea there was to, with this new suggested import syntax, you can kind of know already what is meant to be, but that's not the point, because the idea is to have a flow JSON with that contract, explain where that is getting resolved to, either to like a file directly or to an address. Potentially, again, it could be to a GitHub repo but that again is still open for suggestions. But it could lead in like a down the line to have like a like package manager kind of a tool. So yeah, this is the proposal, and the implementation itself would look like so we would implement it in all the previous mentioned tools. We could support that in the CLI as well, and the code extension and the FCL and all that. And it wouldn't really necessarily break any, like, it would be backward compatible just because of it still allows the previous formats to be used with this new format, but there should be like a better defined syntax for the future. And maybe with time we can even figure out a better way or like a schema for those values. But I don't feel the immediate need to do that now. I just feel that we need to have it unified so you don't have to switch between those two when you're developing. So yeah, again, please take the time if you have it to read it, and please leave the comments or any suggestions. Blue Sign already did, and I'm happy about it. And yeah, that's it. So maybe if you have questions right now, also feel free to ask them. That was my short presentation, I would say.
Thanks, Grigor. Yeah, if anyone has very pressing questions, feel free to speak up. There's no question on Slido at the moment. Otherwise, since we're nearing the end, we can also keep the discussion to the actual flip issue or PR, so that at least all of the questions are tracked by everyone. But I'll give a second for anyone who wants to speak up if they want to speak up. Okay, cool. All right, then again, if you have ideas for the import syntax, please check out the flip PR and comment on it so that we can discuss it as a community. Cool, so let's move next to Fantastec Swap.
Hi, my name is AJ, I'm from Swap, and
Hey.
Afternoon here for me, and half the country's in snow, and the rest of it is bright sunshine. So good
Nice
morning
combo.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, really. Like south of London is all snow, and where I am in London, it's all sunshine. So yeah, Fantastec Swap. The last kind of update we had on Flow was Flowverse before we were on Flow, and a lot has now changed. So if there are people who don't know who we are, we make NFTs for sports clubs, so like Real Madrid, and we've been doing it for 3 years. We actually had our 3-year anniversary in February, and I think it was mentioned in a TLDR in February as well. So thank you guys for that. So I will bring up my screen and give you guys a little taste of what we're all about. And once we got through this, this is a little video that kind of shows what these are and things that are on our platform. So we've got signatures, match footage, pictures from games, animations, and all of it is designed in-house by our amazing team of designers, and our amazing tech team are the ones that have brought us over from our private multi-chain blockchain over to Flow and have built this crazy platform that we have for these NFTs. And whilst I say platform, the product was built on mobile, going mobile first. I think we were the first, and we might still be the only NFT platform that is based on mobile. So I'm going to hope that technology works, and I'm going to switch it over to Discord on my phone so I can show everyone the app. So bear with me a second. Okay, can everyone hear me still?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, this has worked. Seamless technology. And you love it when it works. So.
Oh, and we can see the screen too. Yeah.
Together. So I think the best thing to do to show you what Swap is and what we have going on is to kind of go through a current promotion that we have. So we are releasing a brand new collection to celebrate Real Madrid's group stage success in the Champions League. They've won 5 out of the 6 games. Let's not talk about the 6th one. That was university students beating them. But they've won the other 5 games. So we've got a special collection to celebrate that. And we have a competition so that you can get pre-sale access and secure it before anyone else. But we're also giving away a free pack from an unreleased collection that you can't buy. And someone's going to win Madridista membership for entering this competition. So here it is on the app. Press go now, and it will take you to the collection that you need to complete. And this is actually the collection that we use for FlowFest. So, all the people that got their FlowFest packs will have got these NFTs, and there's no way you can buy them. So all of this is being driven on the secondary market, which is the big reason that we came to Flow, is to have that secondary marketability. So I have completed my collection, but let's say you haven't. Let's say you want to go to the secondary market and you need to buy it. The secondary market at the moment works on the most recent listing. So you can see here, a lot of people are putting up the NFTs for that collection. You can go into it. A lot of people have listed there. Let's see if I can find a nice mint number that is actually good value. You've got to love an NFT hunt. A lot of people still like the low mint values. It could be, someone's favorite number is 89, so they'll grab the NFT with the mint numbers 89 or 894, something like that. But let's go for this one. And I checked. I made sure I had enough in my wallet to show the app working. And it's as simple as that. A little bit of loading, as with any NFT purchase, as it gets into the blockchain and makes sure it works. Yeah, it's nearly there. And there we go. Notification that the NFT has been bought, and now that's in my collection. Oh, and some confetti as well. So the design team definitely had fun, and the front-end team had fun making that. And we can go back to this collection. And as I'm already entered, we can see the competition. there's 15 people have already entered, and there's only 50 slots there. So if you're interested in Real Madrid NFTs, getting pre-sale access to special collection and unreleased NFTs, then you've still got some time. This leaderboard competition closes on the 4th of April, and the pre-sale goes live on the 5th, and the general sale goes live on the 5th. Yeah, that's a very brief overview of the app. I guess I could kind of show off some really cool NFTs that we have. This is one from the chat. If you're a Liverpool fan, sorry, but this is kind of one of the best moments in Real Madrid history that we have on the app. And some of the really early stuff that we did was really cool because we co-created content with the players. So let's see who would have a fun one. Someone like Socrates probably has a fun one. I don't know. Right, they need to fix that a little bit. So yeah, on the back of the cards we have bio, rarity, history, so you can see who owned the NFTs before. It has a description of the rarities, but that's not what I wanted to show you. So from the design team behind it, they actually created unique content for each of the players when we did those content captures. So I guess we're here to bring those amazing sporting moments to the Flow family and to sports fans. We've got the Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid NFTs that we've been making for 3 years, and I think a few people will know about a new direction that we're heading very, very soon, which is very exciting for us and bringing more sporting moments to sporting fans. I'm open to any questions.
The app looks fantastic. Thanks for walking us through it. There's a lot of nice UI. You can see that there's multiple years of thought that went into it. It's not like a spur of the moment thing. There's nice details. One little suggestion would maybe to make the transaction component a little bit more verbose so that people know what's going on the chain. Not that they may care exactly what's going on, but maybe just like, no one likes an infinite loading progress bar. So maybe that's my only little suggestion. There was a little bit of text that changes every couple of seconds, but yeah, make that bigger. I saw that. Yeah. It's just when the text starts looping, people start to freak out. It's like, oh wait, is it still working? Is it still working? No, but apart from that, it's really, really nice. Does anyone have any questions for AJ? I don't see any questions on Slido. In the meantime, as people think of their questions, feel free to unmute and talk over me. I have a question, which is, what spurred you to go from your original implementation to Flow, and how has your experience been?
I think it was a couple of things. One is that the Flow system, the Flow blockchain, was a lot more robust than the system that we had before. So it was about making that engine upgrade. To put it in layman terms, to have a blockchain that we could build on a lot more than the other one, and the second part was so that we could progress and have a secondary market on that system that was better and faster growing. It was a private blockchain, so there was only us on it, but
Flow had that community, it had more projects on there, so to be able to join that was the right decision.
Awesome. And for those of you who don't know, Flow is probably the only blockchain where you actually own the resources that you buy. So they're actually saved on your account, which is not usually the case on other chains.
Yeah, Flow's got a lot of firsts. It's the first blockchain with Cristiano Ronaldo, and that was before he invested in the ICC. Oh no, the fan craze. Sorry, yeah, that was before he invested in fan craze.
AJ, good morning. How are you, bud?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Can't complain. I see a couple of fantastic swappers on this channel, PPs here. I didn't really see a post about this on the Fantastec swap site. I just happened to see Alice was sharing her screen, so I just moseyed on along.
Yeah, it's we're pushing to get more involved in the swap in the Flow community. So it's something that I asked kind of last minute of the Flow team, and they very graciously let me in the last 10 minutes to show swap to the Flow community.
Awesome! It's a great project.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot. We'll be doing more of this for sure.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, AJ, for coming along and showing us Fantastec Swap. It was really fantastic. I'm sure you get that a lot. And yeah, if anyone has any questions after this office hours, what's the best way to join the Fantastec Swap community?
You can join our Discord. I think the link has been posted in the office hours channel. So thank you, Trey, for that. Yeah, just join there. We've got a few active moderators on there, all happy to chat, and the community there is great. Always happy to help any people who have any questions. So yeah, feel free, join in, ask any questions.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. And hopefully, once you have some new cool stuff to show, you're always welcome back here as well. So hopefully this won't be the last time we speak.
So brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks again for joining. And Carol, do we have? Should we close it here, or did we want to cover some last community highlights?
I just wanted to mention some small community highlights really, really quick.
Sure.
Okay, first of all, Someplace is almost sold out. There's only about 76 left, so this is your last chance to get it. So please go mint a potion and you'll get access to the metaverse. The beta version is going to be out, I think, this week or next week, so very exciting. For those who don't know, Pyland bought a bunch of them and is redistributing it to the Flow ecosystem to reinvest into it, which I think is like a nice foreshadowing that Pyland, as an Ethereum project, might be building on Flow next. Very cool. And also, Flunk sold out in 10 minutes. So if you didn't get your Flunks, I'm sorry. I didn't. I logged in and I thought I got it and I didn't. Did you get one, Andrea?
No. Unfortunately, my time zone did not allow for me to. I completely missed it, unfortunately. Yeah. So it was like good news, but bad news when I woke up.
I know. But congratulations to both the teams for both doing so well. There have been a lot of sellouts on Flow, so very proud of our ecosystem. That's it for me.
Awesome. Cool. Well then, this marks the end of this week's office hours, guys. Thanks for joining. It was a pleasure to have you. See you next week. More exciting agenda items next week, and have a great rest of the week and weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for coming by, everybody.
Thanks, Kim. the mastermind behind the scenes making everything happen. Thanks,
That's
Kim.
right.
And thanks, Carol, and thanks, Trey, for helping the office hours run smoothly.
I know I gotta get my link game up. Kim's always like, Trey, that's the wrong link. I'm like, dang it. Every time.
Does anyone else have FOMO? Like after you say goodbye, that's when some interesting thing happens
Yes.
on Discord chats.
Any chat, I'm like, I'm gonna be the last to leave.
Oh, really?
Without-
Nice.
I'm gonna miss anything.
But then maybe you may be doing something cool all alone in this text chat, and I have FOMO of leaving it. You know?
Yeah. Yep. It's true. It's like no one's around, so I turn on my camera, start dancing.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I think you're probably
unfortunately have
safe.
to,
Yeah, you're probably safe.
All right. Well.
Until next time.
A happy. It's like a good goodbye or a happy goodbye. How do you define a positive goodbye to people? How do you wish a strong goodbye?
Farewell, friend.
Yeah, Albert's got it.
Farewell.